No, Mandani, you have to investigate why they arrested me as an immigrant. You know, they're surrounding me with their police. I was there fixing my bag, and some of them came. But say, ha 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 ha. They don't let me use the bathroom. They're enforcing immigration laws. Lelita James, they're arresting me. They attacked me in the bathroom. My friend Arigona was killed 10 years ago by this set. They're enforcing immigration law. I'm a Nigerian. They keep surrounding me. They're not supposed to be doing this. They're not supposed to be enforcing immigration law. You need to arrest them. So please get the video footage. Mandani, you have to do your job. Otherwise, you'll be arrested on that war crime. You're trying to arrest Netanyahu? Arrest pigs like this. These are pigs. They keep surrounding me. I don't know what. All day long they've been surrounding me. All day long. They're racial profiling. They've been surrounding me all day long. They are pigs. These are the pigs of the world. They killed my friend Arigona, killed my mother. I'm going to International Criminal Court. This is not a slave plantation. Blacks march all over the world to stop this shit. So these are pigs. They're attacking me in the bathroom. I see the homeless peeing on themselves. This Eric Adam colluded with Trump. And they're not getting away with this shit. I have enough videos online. They attacked me in the bathroom. They raped me. Those ones are going to jail from the first precinct. So I'm taking their pictures. January 1, you're all going to jail. You're human rights abusers, pigs. You lay hand on this homeless, you and your Eric Adam and your Trump, you're going to jail. The victims are recording. You're all canceled. So I think, I was fixing my bag and they came around me laughing. They took me out of the train. They're canceling trains early. Since the COVID, they started canceling trains. This R train used to run all night. And during the COVID, they started harassing me on the R train. Said, get out early, get out early. And I came out of the train at Forest Hills, and the guy set me on fire. As I was coming down the elevator. In 2020, another guy took me home to his house in the Bronx and raped me. I said he works for the NYPD, I have to get married to him so he can get the money, launder the money. I've been trying to sue them for my mother being killed. Our daughters, my mother's, when the police came and took her, me and my mother saw my Stein Island, our daughters started moving with a narcotic gang, and they were trying to kill my mother so that any money my mother got from the police invading her home on Stein Island and kicking me and my mother out, the daughters can inherit the money. The daughters live in Pennsylvania, they have their own houses in Pennsylvania, Polanyi and Florida. Just me and my mother live in New York, Stein Island. And my friend Arigona was helping my mother with the court papers. And when I took Arigona there, all the lawyers wouldn't help me. Apparently there was a Nigerian church I used to go to. So I sent a letter to that Nigerian church pastor. While I was in Nigeria, there's a Nigerian church my mother used to go to. His name is Synagogue Church Pastor, Chief Joshua. So I sent him a letter, I said, look, me and my mother was evicted from our home. And if you could help me with money. Apparently, they were watching me with the immigration surveillance because when my mother brought me earlier in 2000, the immigration arrested me, said there was a problem with my visa. And it's an emergency visa they could have given me. I was a minor child of a U.S. permanent resident, under 21. And it's a visa they could give you if you have an emergency and you need to be in the U.S. And they could give me that visa at the airport. It's called a parole visa. And they refused to give me. An immigration agent I spoke with, he now became a lawyer. He told me they could have given me that visa. They always give it to people. He said while he was working for INS, they called him INS at that time. He said there used to be many cases like that were arrived from Europe, and they would think, the parents will have a green card, and the child will come here with the parent from England, and the child will come here, on a visa waiver, and they will convert that visa waiver, to humanitarian parole to let the child stay with the parent. And tell the parent to go and file a green card. That once you have a green card, all your children have to have a green card also. It's mandatory. They can't become, once you have a green card, all your children have to have a green card also. So when little children come here with their parents, they'll give them a humanitarian visa. And tell them to stay here and get their own green card. And they were supposed to do that for me, and they refused to do that. And said they were going to deport me, that my visa, I didn't have the right visa and stuff. And the case lasted HS Immigration Court. And they later removed me from the prison on bail. So I was staying with my mother on Staten Island. And we were staying in the basement apartment eventually. And then under Bloomberg, the Jewish American mayor, they started, I'm coughing because I've been on the street for 15 years. And so they're going to lie on me and say my cough is because I smoke in the bathroom and kill me in the bathroom and taser me dead. Even there's a black American, and they hire some black Americans, some of them are gay, to be taunting me. One has been putting messages on Instagram, say stupid. As I was posting message online yesterday begging people for money, and then he's posted another message today saying chest bumps. And some people have chest bumps. And the people have been threatening me with taser, And so, I've been getting all kinds of hate messages. And the police came and removed me from the bathroom on November 14. Somebody said I stole something. So I've been getting threats, and these people are surrounding me everywhere I go. I was just fixing my bag because the tire is broken, and I was fixing it. And then these two police officers came and were laughing, heckling me. I'm like, really? Really? I don't know if these are the same ones. They appeared white and they went upstairs. I was bending and fixing my bag. And you took my home on Staten Island, killed my friend Ghana, and every chance you get, you're going to be heckling me. Yesterday I was posting messages online on Instagram, and there was this black American, he called himself Burn, Fired or Burn. He's a gay guy also. And before they killed my friend Ghana also, they set my house on fire, where I had evidence of that. When I came here and I was arrested in 2000, I actually had a visa, but the immigration lied I didn't have any visa. But regardless, even if I don't have a visa, they're supposed to give me a humanitarian visa. And they didn't give me an humanitarian visa, so I was in immigration prison, and my case lasted 8 years. My mother had a green card, I was a minor child. Then when I came out of prison, I was in my home. The police kicked me and my mother out of my home on Staten Island and killed my friend while he was helping me. So, and then I wrote an email to a Nigerian church, I wrote an email to a Nigerian church, and Pastor T.B. Joshua, I told him to help me with money and stuff.
So what, you saying she ain't gonna want me because I walk with a little switch?
No. I sent an email to a Nigerian church, Pastor T.B. Joshua. I said she helped me, and the police took my home on Staten Island, and I'm experiencing financial difficulties. And he didn't really help me with anything, but he sent me and this guy has been talking about heart also. So they're trying to get me to have a heart attack, threatening me with taser. They're going to taser my chest. And there's this gay guy on Instagram, started following him. And he also started posting messages that, about, his name is Born or Blaze. They set my house on fire also on Staten Island before they killed Eric Garner. They killed Eric Garner in July 2014. I just met him. And before they killed him, I'd met Eric Garner in 2014, early 2014. They set my house on fire in March. His name is Blaze or Burn. The gay guy, And sometimes I feel he talks about me a lot. Using innuendos. And today he talked about chest bumps. But he canceled that video. I think that video was posted in his what's it called? His profile picture. But that always disappears after a few hours. So that video has been cancelled. It's disappeared already. And so when I was bending down to fix my back and this police surrounded me, was like, And, I was like, what in the world is going on? Why should I be getting heckled? They said they used to heckle blacks and choke them and lynch them. And there's another gay guy also was talking about skin. I think him and some other guy, another gay guy, he's also gay, And they seem to talk about me through hints and stuff. And one of them posted, I'm sure it's the other one, Blaze or Burn, posted about chest bumps. I'm saying hair travel is a punishment. People have been telling me I'm going to get deported for post. This is Tyreek told you. He posted 3 hours ago. Air travel, aviation, airplane, jet setter. So I guess that's why the police are heckling me. It's based here in New York also. I don't know what this Trump administration is giving them, They're all posting all this scary stuff about violence, getting deported, and, It's based here in New York. And nobody needs to be threatened. I can't use the bathroom anywhere the police are invading the bathroom. And this is not a slave ship. People died to get civil rights for blacks and poor people in this country. And why should I be jumped everywhere, denied bathroom access, and no investigation? I contacted the police commissioner, Jessica Tish, on Instagram. And he also posted that he loves his eyes. People have been posting stuff about eyes and stuff. Sometimes I get punched near my eyes as I'm sitting on the train. And it's like they're trying to force me to be wearing my glasses. And it's like the law enforcement is sponsoring this hate campaign against me. They want to kill me eventually, but they want to reduce all liability against my state and have my mother's daughters inherit all the estate and share it to them. So sometimes when I sleep on the train, I move my leg around and sometimes they kick my leg, So I guess they don't want people recording me as sleeping on the train. That's why they want me to be wearing glasses. Because people can, sometimes people record me as I'm sleeping on the train. And without my glasses, people can record me and then sue my state later that I'm always sleeping on the train and I'm always moving my leg around. Because when I sit down on the chair, sometimes I mistakenly move my leg around. And they're afraid people may complain. Look, they rendered me homeless for so long, 15 years, even if there's a court order that people that are removed from their homes by the police, the city of New York has to put us in a hotel room, me and my mother. And I've been trying to get them to comply, and they won't comply. So they're very worried about liability against myself. They eventually plan to kill me as a crazy person in the bathroom. But now, they're afraid people are going to sue my estate. And be like, yeah, that person was crazy, quite all right. As a matter of fact, the person would always sleep with their legs. Sometimes when I fall asleep, I sit down, so my leg will move around. And, involuntarily, And they kept me in the homeless for this long because I don't like the general shelters. In the general shelters, they don't let me use the bathroom. Also, me and my mother was in the general shelter in 2020, in 2011, and they would come and bang in the door on us in the bathroom. And there's a court order that if your family, they're supposed to put you, seems a ticket in somebody else. They love Africans, delivery guys, they ticket them. So when those white police officers came around me, I was heckling. As soon as they told me to get off the train, So they're targeting Africans to ticket us and stuff. So this is like racial profiling. I was being heckled by some white police officers earlier. It seems they're targeting Africans. That's why I started recording. No. I see they're arresting and the guy, he may be a delivery worker. It's a black male. I was born a male, I'm not a woman. So policeman Danny, today is December 14. It's around 11 p.m. You have to look into this. This is like racial profile. I'm seeing all the people being ticketed are usually blacks. Black male. I was born a male, I'm not a woman from Nigeria. And I was just fixing my bag and some white police came around and said, I'm like, oh wow, this is what this country is turning to. I was using the bathroom and they used to bring their police to scare me with a gun. Say, go back to being a man. Stop being a woman, okay? When I'm using the bathroom, and they finally came and beat me up in the bathroom, slammed my head against the wall. So they're using guns to attack gays and turn them to become a man in America. This is interesting. My friend Eric Garner was helping me stand after the police took my home, wrongfully. They've killed him already. And I used to go to a Nigerian church. I sent a letter to the pastor in Nigeria that please help me. Before I found out they sent a bomb and blew up that church, killed 200 Nigerians. During Obama administration. And this morning they sent a white guy to rape me on the train. I fell asleep on the F train and they don't like me falling asleep because they're afraid that when I fall asleep, sometimes I move my leg and some people record me, that I'm sleeping and they're afraid people are going to file lawsuit. That they wrongfully evicted me from my home on Staten Island and I always sleep on the train. And I think some people are planning to file a lawsuit. That when I sleep like that, my leg always blocks their way and they've been falling and breaking their head. So I think some people have found out that they plan to kill me as an African and nobody will care. And these people want to file a lawsuit. So anytime I'm sleeping, I will see people are recording me sleeping. They've been recording me like they're sleeping. So they've been sending threats to me. I'm on Instagram. So there's a gay black American guy. He's been posting, watch your eyes, watch your eyes. Sometimes when I'm sleeping, people try to punch my face. I be the law enforcement. They want me to be wearing glasses, so that nobody will see me when I'm sleeping. So that when they eventually kill me with the police, nobody will be able to file a lawsuit. So I have to wear these glasses all the time. If they still see me without these glasses, they'll say somebody to punch me in my face. Say, put your glasses on. So they're torturing me. Like Botambe prisoner, they've killed so many Africans, so many Nigerians, and they're mass deported. They will have deported me, but it's much fun to leave me and kill me and give the money. One of my mother's daughters, some of them are US citizens, so some of them are moving with a bad gang. So I'm a gay, I don't have a child, I'm not married, so if they kill me, I'm 44 years old. The money will go to my mother's daughters if they kill me, because once you die without a family of your own, it will go to your extended family, and they would then pay all these police officers for killing me. So they're trafficking human beings. My mother told me about it before Adoras killed her. In 2015, my mother was telling me Adoras were trying to kill her because when they took me and my mother's home on Staten Island, the police, my mother went to go and live with her daughter in Pennsylvania. They were born here in America. So she was telling me the daughters would try to attack her violently. One of the daughters married to a black American soldier, and my mother said the black American soldier would try to punch my mother for no reason. Used a dirty plunger to hit my mother's face. So when my mother calls the 911 in Pennsylvania, the police in Pennsylvania will side with the black American soldier. Because my mother speaks with a Nigerian accent. So they'll tell her you're the troublemaker, And they told my mother to leave the house. So my mother went from that daughter, Flora's house, to another daughter, my mother that was born here in America, Bolanle's house. And my mother said the same thing. This Bolanle would tell her my mother, she's tired of my mother has to leave. And my mother said this Bolanle was putting something in her food, like cancer, fish poison. So my mother started having symptoms of heart attack. So my mother came on the bus, came to New York, and while on the bus, my mother started having an attack on the bus from Pittsburgh. So the bus driver called 911, but my mother told the ambulance that she doesn't want to go to hospital in Pennsylvania that she wants to come to New York. So they allowed the bus to drive to New York. And by the time my mother arrived in May 2015, they said she collapsed on the floor at the Penn Station, no, 42nd Street. So they took her to Bellevue eventually. And while my mother was in Bellevue, she was contacting me on the phone. I was speaking with her, and she said that those daughters came all the way from Pennsylvania and came to the hospital. My mother didn't tell nobody what hospital she was in. She was like, at this point, she's very, she doesn't want to tell me the hospital she's in either, because she was like, our daughters have been acting very funny, and she's very afraid they may try to compromise her health, because there was another incident whereby my mother was abused in a U.S. hospital, so she, so that got her very worried. So she didn't tell me what hospital she was in. She was like, I don't want you to worry and come. She knows I have a lot of luggages and stuff. So I kept quiet on the phone. She told me she's going to be okay. But she told me our daughters then came from Pennsylvania, came to the hospital. And she was like, she didn't tell her what the name of the hospital was, and she was surprised who gave her the address of the hospital. So I was talking to my mother on the phone, and I was under immigration surveillance because I had an immigration court case. So I guess through the immigration surveillance, they found out where my mother was, and they gave it to the daughter. I don't know if the daughter's working for the FBI, because she was born in America, and this sometimes they would hire your family member to investigate you with the immigration. So that's what they're doing, they're dividing families. If the immigration is investigating you, and you have a family member that's a U.S. citizen, the FBI will hire your family member to help them in the investigation. So they were giving my mother's location and my location to that family member that was trying to kill my mother. And my mother said that family member came to the hospital and was giving my mother hell in the hospital. Was bothering my mother and told the hospital to go and lock up my mother up in the mental ward. And my mother was in life support. She couldn't breathe on her own. And the hospital removed my mother's breathing tube and went and locked her in the mental ward. On the way my mother died, she couldn't breathe. So I said I want an autopsy. The hospital said no. That my mother's daughter doesn't want an autopsy. And they won't give me an autopsy. Since this is how they killed my mother in 2015, no lawyer in America would help me. And I said, so I've been carrying all my bags around, telling people on the train that please donate to my Cash App NYC Homeless. And all of a sudden, as I was bending down, because sometimes my back shakes, fixing my bag, 2 police officers came. I was like, So I started recording. I'm like, why are they heckling me? They already told me if I use the bathroom, they're going to shoot me. That I should go and become a man. I should stop using the women's bathroom. At gunpoint. And finally, they came and beat me up in the bathroom on Chambers Street. It hit my head on the wall. It lied against me. So somebody said I stole something. I'm like, I didn't steal anything. And they hit my head on the wall. And I can't find a lawyer. So last month they did that. And I was bending down, fixing my bag. And then there were 2 police officers were acting. Then I saw they started arresting the guy, ticketing him. That's why I'm recording. Because I used to ride the R train all night. In 2020, they told the police to start arresting people, homeless people like me riding the R train. So this R train used to run all night long from Brooklyn to Queens all night long. But in 2020, they were harassing me, and because I used to ride the R train all the time. So they told the R train should no longer run all night, should stop by 12 midnight. And one day while I was riding the R train, early in the morning, like 5 a.m., it was running all night long. The police told me to get out the train station at 5 a.m. So I carried all my bags, left at Forest Hills. All of a sudden, it was cold, I think I was fixing my bag or something, and the guy set my bag on fire, set me on fire. I started feeling burned. And it was fire, so I had to quickly rub my body against the wall. So the police are working with their criminal gangs. As soon as the police came out of the train around 5 a.m. in the morning, because I always come and use the bathroom at Forest Hills. They open the bathroom at 5 a.m. And as soon as they saw me arrive on the train, they told me to leave the train station. They were kicking homeless people out. So now, they don't even let the train go to Forest Hills anymore. By 10 p.m., they start kicking people out. So they just kicked me and everybody out on the train, the prior trains that arrived. So that's why I'm still here. So this has to be investigated by you, Mandani. They are profiling immigrants. They don't let me use the bathroom, threatened me with a gun, and finally beat me up in the bathroom. I heard they did it to Abdul Wimmer, raped him in the bathroom was from Haiti. They arrested him and take him to a bathroom and sodomized him with a broomstick, left him bloody. So I guess why those police are heckling me is that the only train I can take now is either the E or the F. This morning as I was riding the F, a guy came and raped me on the F. And when I ride the E, they have a lot of police officers at Jamaica Station. And they also would call the psychiatrist on me, make fun of me. You can see they are forcing all the homeless together. So they have to investigate it because, and they restored all the full service to the other trains because during COVID, all the trains used to kick people out at 12 midnight. The train stations were closed. But this train, because I always ride it before COVID, now they stopped this train by 10 p.m. They put out of service. Because they know this is my favorite train to ride. I used to ride it all night long. And this train used to stop at many bathroom stations. Many stations have bathrooms, like 14th Street, 42nd Street, 34th Street, Bay Ridge Avenue, 59th Street, 36th Street. So this station has the longest stretch of bathroom stops. So as a homeless, I have diarrhea. So it was very convenient for me to be riding it because I can always get off any love train station in the bathroom. So this is why they started closing this train at 10 p.m. They'll kick everybody out because sometimes I fall asleep on it, So please donate to my Cash App, NYC Homeless, or to me in person so I can rent a hotel room. I can hire a lawyer, because this is crazy. They said when they put their eye on you to kill you, they will eventually kill you. And they said nobody will care about justice for you, especially when there's money to be made. So they've seen a lot of people who would cash in if I die. I see people, anytime I'm sleeping, if I don't wear my glasses, they're recording my face to see if I'm sleeping. And they can then use that as evidence later on and claim, when you're sleeping, your legs supposed to shift around. And claim when I'm sleeping, my legs shift around and they all trip and fall over my leg. So it's like they're all aware that I'm going to be killed soon. And all the criminal guys, they want to make their money also. They say that the killing, and so that the killing will benefit everybody, not just the police community and my brothers doing this. That would, they want. So I think, they said that they're doing a new thing on this Arigana, that whenever the police does something wrong, the city of New York will quickly settle the case out of court. So they want to kill me and quickly settle the case out of court, but they're afraid if there are people suing my state, those people will take the case to court and to use it as a leverage that you better pay us a lot of money, otherwise we're going to take the case to court and we're going to dig into how this person died and we're going to claim this person died as a victim of human trafficking, that you purposely killed this person, abused this person, tried to get this person to commit suicide, and while you were torturing this person was falling asleep. I'm also anemic, couldn't eat properly. I was falling asleep everywhere. And we were all tripping and falling on the leg. So, so they're afraid that all these criminal gangs also that want to make money will use that as a leverage and would also get a lot of money in settlement just to keep quiet. So they're afraid, it may not even be worth it to kill me anymore because a lot of the criminal gangs will not use it as a leverage that we're all falling and tripping over this person. This person will be so tired, will always fall asleep on the train because we were torturing this person so much, deny them housing, kill the friend of Regano, and now we can dig in. Once you kill this person, we can dig in and tell the courts this person was a victim of human trafficking, this person was posting videos on YouTube, so and now we were tripping and falling also, so this is what they're afraid of. But still, they still want to kill me even if they won't be able to get a lot of money because they'll have to pay a lot of this other gang, settlement money to keep the case out of court, but I think they still think it's better to kill me and deny me any money because they have a point to prove. They said that their police have been telling the U.S. government and the politicians that, they need to stop civil rights activists like Martin Luther King that was killed also and any other civil activists that, because people suing the police in this country is making it hard to recruit more police officers. And because every of the police are afraid to commit error. So I say they need to fight back by killing some of the activists so that people that want to sue in the future would think twice. Even lawyers that helping people sue will think twice because the lawyer families can be easily killed. So they want to use me as a scapegoat, provide a scapegoat, to scare people. And they be following around with the police on 34th Street also. As soon as I landed from the train, highlighted from the train, the MTA worker went and blocked the elevator, said the elevator is not working. So I had to get back on the train and leave. Then when I came back again, anytime they do that, within 5 minutes, they put the elevator back on service. When they see I've already left and they don't think I'm coming back. So they've been doing that to me in Brooklyn also. When I arrived at Atlantic Avenue a couple of days ago, I was going to take the elevator to go use the bathroom. Especially when they feel like I'm going to use the bathroom, they'll block the elevator and tell me to carry my stuff down the stairs. I'm like, do you want to kill me? My stuff is heavy, I can't carry it. And they forced me to mess up my pants. So because without the elevator, there's no way if I'm really trying to use the bathroom, I can carry all this stuff. The pressure would be too much on my stomach, and to force me to torture me, to explode on myself, So this is what they're doing, harassing me. So please donate to my, I'm looking for non-conditional charitable financial donation to my Cash App, NYC Homeless, or to me in person, and I solemnly swear under oath that I'm only looking for non-conditional charitable financial donation to my Cash App, NYC Homeless, or to me in person, and I'm not looking for surrogacy, I'm not looking for marriage, I'm not looking for membership in any cult, whether Santa Claus cult or gang, or because sometimes people, when I'm begging for money, people try to touch my breast and say, that they want to deposit something in somebody's chimney. No, if that's what you're implying by saying, and making Santa Claus comments around me, I'm not a Santa Claus. I'm not looking for anybody to deposit anything in a surrogate's chimney. I was born a male. I'm not a woman. I'm not looking to adopt anybody's child or create or for anybody to create a child for me, whether I'm alive or dead, So this is what is going on. So this is just outrageous, and and it said, usually and people have been mocking me, saying things like you're just a sacrifice, you're going to be sacrificed and everybody's going to make money off of you. All kinds of scary statements like that. So I've been under immigration surveillance and FBI surveillance since 2000. So in case I die, all the video footage and voice recordings they have of me has to be subpoenaed, FOIA done, and to confirm I'm being targeted wrongfully by the police. They say what they normally do is to claim the national security interest. They don't want to release the footage, especially if somebody is dead. I heard they have spy cameras also, satellite cameras. They used to watch people. Obama confessed after they killed Osama that even though they said if the US was lying that they couldn't find Osama, they already knew where he was after 9/11. They was hiding in the Pakistani jungle, and they were using the satellite camera to watch him from space. There's a satellite camera they have from space. They can look anywhere on Earth, look through walls, and so this is the kind of satellite camera they're using to monitor immigrants. Once the immigration request for you to be under surveillance, the FBI and NASA will put you on satellite camera watch, and also voice watch. And since the Russian military claimed they saw an American fighter plane leave a German airbase in 2014 and go to Nigeria and blow up the Nigerian church. Even the Nigerian pastor, TB Joshua, said he saw a plane hovering over his building, and soon the building came crashing down. There were some Americans in that church also. They worked there because that Joshua does a lot of healings. So a lot of Americans white Americans came to get healing, and some of them are church workers there. A lot of white South Africans also died. They came for healing. So since this affects so many people in the world, people can do a FOIA request, including some Americans. But he said the only bomb is the section of the building where the Americans weren't at. So they had a section for the American visitors. So Joshua said the plane was hovering on top of his building, like was trying to use the camera, still the camera, to locate where the Americans were, and they bombed the section where the Africans were. They didn't bomb the section where the Americans were. So none of the Americans died, but they said all the Americans they said they felt the building shaking as it was bombed, and they thought it was the power of God. They were all praising God, not knowing it was a terrorist bomb. And when they found out it was many people died, they were all shaking. So these Americans have the right to sue also, because under, I believe it's called Lewinsky Act or something. Any victim of terror can sue any participant in that terror, including the U.S. Army and the Nigerian government for covering up. I've been contacting the Nigerian government and the South African government, to help me investigate. That also that I've been arrested wrongfully in 2019 and they stole my green card. The police won't return it back to me. And I told them my passport has been stolen. A Senegalese guy that was homeless like me, as soon as I started talking with him, they stole his passport and green card also. And they've been hiring the Black American gang to tell me they're going to be killing Africans, no Africans will get justice. And this African became mayor, and he's also been blocking me from getting any kind of assistance. He also told his police to be arresting homeless people and putting us in psych ward. So this is why they have the police surrounding me, watching me. Like they're psychiatrists looking for a psychiatric patient. And they're not medical doctors. And what they do is to just manipulate you and provoke you and then arrest you and say they want to put you in the psych ward, but you're displaying anger tantrums or whatever. So I was bending down, fixing my back, and those police came from behind me and they were heckling me. And soon I saw they arrested a guy that may be African, also a delivery worker, or they arrested a lot of black males. Even though there's a court order from 2013, Floyd versus City of New York, even Eric Garner was telling me about the case before they killed him in 2014. He said, that there's a court order that the police can't just stop and search you or come to your home without a court order. And I told him the police came to my home and kicked my mother out without a court order. I said, I have a good case. And the police were like choking them because I was being monitored by the immigration, and the immigration must have told them that, look, there's a Black American sentencing grade that's trying to help this African, because at that time, any lawyer contact, as soon as I accept the case, they've dropped my case. Drop my case days later, call me up and be like, they're no longer interested in the case. And they won't tell me why. So this is what is going on. So I've been denied justice, and they're afraid once they kill me, a lot of people are going to sue and claim, when I sleep at night, I always move my legs around, So they're hiring Black American gays to say I love my eyes, and I see people trying to punch me in the eyeball. I think that they're sponsoring these people to tell me, you better keep wearing your glasses, or otherwise we're going to punch those eye socket out, so nobody will be able to record you sleeping. Nobody will know if you're sleeping or not. I saw that they tried to get people to run me over with a scooter to cut off my leg. So anything that could create liability for my state when they kill me, so that so I always have to put my glasses on 24/7. So lately I've not been putting it on. Because it's been falling off the rope. I even, so that the glasses won't fall off, that's why I tie a rope. Because the glasses handle, sometimes it falls off of my face. So this is why I'm tying the rope. So this is real serious. They are using mutilation of body parts to torture immigrants. They said in Guantanamo Bay prison, they will insert, when the Muslims try to fast so they don't eat, so because they are Muslim when they're fasting, I said the U.S. soldiers guarding them, or U.S. Law enforcement guarding these prisoners, will insert a feeding tube in this prisoner's anus. I'm so sorry to be graphic. And I said Islam forbids anal sex, and they'll be making it feel like they were anally penetrating this Muslim, and this Muslim will feel so dirty afterwards or whatever, and will commit suicide. So they're using, and they'll say the waterboard is Muslim. Waterboarding is when they cover you with a blindfold and immerse you in the river and tie your hand and leg, and it's after a while you will believe you're drowning, and you either collapse and just to torture this immigrant for fun. So they're using threats of mutilation of my leg and mutilation of my eyeballs, and as I was they're using Black Americans, some Black Americans hate Africans, and they will gladly join in with the law enforcement to abuse Africans. They say even in prison, if you're an African, the Black Americans will jump you, And as I was posting messages to people yesterday, this guy was was I was posting message to people yesterday and telling people, please help me. You know, I said I'm at the train station December 13th, and I was saying, you know, oh, my camera is so weak. They always attack me when I'm using this phone. The other phone, the memory is full because the camera picture, I'm so sorry. So I was posting pictures, videos yesterday to people and stuff, and all of a sudden, I followed that guy's account, and all of a sudden, I posted so many people yesterday. You know, even to the MTA. You know, and they don't help me. I've been attacked in the train station. The MTA, they have, they have time to chat for business. But I've been sending them videos upon videos. They don't contact me back. And, one of their workers, Progressive Action, him, and he's been snitching on them because he exposes his business, his employer, and it was like, he's too damn busy to read messages people send him. I see him on the street sometimes. He comes around me and I ask for his, I ask him to help me and they tell me to send him an email. And when I send him an email, he doesn't respond. And one day he posted, he's too busy to be reading emails, these messages people send him. So I guess that's the lie they're all going to go with. And he's also been threatening that the kids are going to be killing people on the train and stuff. The customers, beware. And they've been sending kids to attack me. And this morning, a guy was trying to rape me on the train, and I was afraid he was grabbing me. He could have just thrown me to the train track, to the emergency on the F train. And this guy then posted saying, the people that perform dangerous activities on the train. So anytime I get attacked like that, I send him the video or whatever. I haven't even sent him the video of me being raped on the F train this morning. But I think he's aware he has his own snitches. He works for the MTA. But he refuses to help me because I always tell him I'm not looking for a marriage. I see him a lot. I'm like, I always tell him when I post messages to him that I'm not looking for marriage or surrogacy. And he won't help me. A guy took me home. I said, I have to marry, to get help. I said, nobody's going to help me for free and stuff. And the guy started raping me in his house. The guy that took me home in 2020, it's not this one, another guy. And I called the police, and the police kicked me out of that other guy's house. When I sent a message to this guy, I told him, I'm not seeking, you can see, I'm not seeking marriage or surrogacy or children birth. I'm just looking for charitable help and to investigation, and he doesn't respond back to me. So just like the guy that took me home in 2020 told me nobody's going to help me without marriage. And the guy that took me home in 2020 raped me, it's something not true. Nobody's going to help me without marriage. This one is going on. Contact, everybody, the prosecutor and everything, nobody's helping me. The International Criminal Court also, nobody's getting back to me. And this International Criminal Court always arrests Africans all the time for participating in war crime torture. He has arrested African president, Charles Taylor has been arrested by them, now in prison. But they don't want to arrest any Americans for torturing and stuff. So this one is going.